been a busy schedule for the president over the past few days. Among the highlights is a visit to Ghana of the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, his wife Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, who arrived in Ghana on Friday the 2nd of November 2018 for a 5-day visit. This visit by the British royals is part of their tour of 3 West African countries, the Gambia, Ghana and Nigeria. Meeting their Royal Highnesses at the Jubilee House was President Akufo-Addo and First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo. This is the first time that the Prince is visiting Ghana after 41 years. On a photo wall at the Jubilee House, President Akufo-Addo showed the Prince memorial photographs of his last visit in 1977.
Your Highness, Madam Duchess, High Commissioner, it's a big honor for us to receive you in Ghana. You know the relations between our 2 countries go back centuries. Some of it was happy, some of it was not so happy. But we're in the happier period now. And the imprint of your country on us is visible, even from the soldiers that you've just inspected. Yeah. So many aspects of our life are very, very influenced by British values, British institutional arrangements, and lots of our people who are living in your place, doing well, well treated on the vast part of them. And it's a relationship that we value. Unfortunately, trade relations have declined a little. I think that your coming here should be a signal of how we want to scale up those relations. It's important for us. And our concern, of course, is your concern. What is going to happen after the Brexit arrangement goes through? To what extent is it going to impact on us? We're determined to be a firm and strong friend of your country. And we see your coming here as an indication that you also attach a great deal of importance to your relations with Ghana. So we're very happy to have you here.
During this visit, their Royal Highnesses will celebrate the close relationship between the United Kingdom and Ghana, the importance of their Commonwealth ties, as well as their shared values. President Nana Akufo-Addo visited Germany and France to strengthen foreign ties between Ghana and its European partners. In Berlin, President Akufo-Addo participated in the G20 Compact with Africa conference. The 2018 conference brought together reform-minded African countries, international organizations and bilateral partners from G20 and beyond to coordinate country-specific reform agendas and advertise investment opportunity to private investors. Addressing the conference, the president indicated that his administration has initiated and implemented policies that are encouraging and empowering the private sector to grow the Ghanaian economy within the framework of macroeconomic stability. He also indicated that Siemens AG, which is the largest industrial manufacturing company in Europe, will soon announce its decision to establish its presence in Ghana.
The German Chancellor, Bundeskanzlerin Frau Angela Merkel, is to be commended for convening this conference on the G20 Compact with Africa, as a follow-up to the decision she took last year to put the preoccupations of Africa's development at the heart of Germany's presidency of the G20. In Ghana, we're delighted with Germany's decision to reorient its policy and relationship with Ghana, and indeed with Africa, from one based on aid to relations focused primarily on trade and investment cooperation. My government's vision of moving our country to a situation beyond aid, i.e. a Ghana beyond aid, is aligned to Germany's Compact with Africa program. Under my leadership, we're determined to discard the mindset of dependence on aid, charity, and handouts, and aim towards becoming self-reliant within the context of strong global cooperation. We're well aware that in order for Ghana to harness the full benefits of the Compact program, whose objective is to ensure more private sector investments, we have to get our act together. We have to create an enabling environment for investments in Ghana, not just to survive, but to thrive. That is why my government has spent the last 21 months, our period of stay in office, to improve the fundamentals of the Ghanaian economy, because we believe that an improved macroeconomy is a basic requirement for stimulating the investments we need for the significant expansion and growth of the national economy and the generation of wealth and jobs. Additionally, we've initiated and implemented policies that are encouraging and empowering the private sector to grow the Ghanaian economy within the framework of macroeconomic stability. We believe that when the private sector flourishes and when our enterprises become competitive, not just on the continent, but also in the global marketplace, then we can create the thousands and thousands of jobs our teeming masses of unemployed youth crave. The decision by German car manufacturing giant Volkswagen to establish an assembly plant in Ghana soon, and also the soon-to-be-announced decision by Siemens to set up a base in Ghana, and the project we have just had outdoored, are testament to the efforts my government has put into creating the necessary environment for the private sector to flourish. We're not resting on our oars. We'll continue to work hard to attract investments, domestic and foreign, into Ghana, so that we can unleash the sense of enterprise, creativity, and innovation of the Ghanaian people and help build a progressive, prosperous Ghana whose citizens live in harmony and security. I'm confident that if respected, the premise on which this conference is being held will enable Germany and the Compact with Africa countries to reshape our economies and chart a new path of growth and development in freedom. Together we can help make life meaningful and worth living for our peoples like others have done. I wish in conclusion to use this occasion as we take account of the sad news of her impending departure from the German political scene, to congratulate Frau Angela Merkel, Bundeskanzlerin, on the exceptional quality of her leadership of Germany and Europe this last decade and more. The Ghanaian people and I will regret her departure very much, for she has been one of the most outstanding leaders of modern times. We shall miss her very much. I thank you for your attention.
On Wednesday, the 31st of October 2018, President Akufo-Addo was a guest speaker at the 18th Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD International Forum in Paris, France. The OECD is an intergovernmental economic organization with 36 member countries, founded in 1961 to stimulate economic progress and world trade. President Akufo-Addo urged member states of the organization to set their sights higher and help build a prosperous Africa with equal opportunity for all.
It has gotten to the point where some OECD development institutions, for example, the World Bank and the European Commission, with substantial means that could go into infrastructure, have become passive bystanders in that space in Africa. Staff of the institutions shy away from infrastructure projects for fear their restrictive and cumbersome rules cannot be met. And as a result, African countries also shy away because it takes too long and it is too frustrating to deal with them. So we turn to other sources. Despite the alarm and displeasure coming from some quarters in the OECD about this development, it is likely to continue if the OECD processes do not change. We are not unaware of the challenges regarding these alternative sources of infrastructure finance. But set against the slow and cumbersome OECD processes, and in light of our desire for rapid progress, these other sources are very attractive. A clear solution is to simplify and expedite the OECD processes while maintaining transparency. Currently, the processes for developing and financing infrastructural projects are developed by OECD institutions to reflect your concerns, with little input from African countries to reflect our concerns and aspirations. 3. Establish a joint Africa-OECD technical committee to design procedures for processing infrastructural projects in Africa, including for public-private projects. Procedures that take into consideration the concerns of both parties. The proposed initiative will be of great benefit. My government would like to initiate the discussion on constituting the Joint Technical Committee in consultation with others, such as the African Union Commission, the OECD Development Center, the ADB, the World Bank, the Compact with Africa, and the African Center for Economic Transformation in Accra, which has been helping coordinate peer learning among the CWA countries. And 4, build strategic partnerships focused on Africa's growth and transformation. This will be a win-win for African countries and members of the OECD. I'm very encouraged by Germany's Compact with Africa initiative, which should be strongly supported and emulated by all OECD countries. I'm also equally encouraged by the recent enactment by the United States Congress of the, quote, Better Utilization of Investment Leading to Development Act, the BUILD Act, unquote, which creates a strong and well-capitalized $60 billion United States dollar development finance institution, the United States International Development Finance Corporation, to help finance and also crowd in finance to help build prosperity in low and middle income countries. And of course, it is also to support U.S. strategic interests. We welcome and commend this new boldness and renewed ambition in the United States to support prosperity outside her shores. And as the United Nations States Agency for International Development, USAID, puts it, quote, to build a self-reliant Africa, unquote. We look forward to working closely with them. We urge other OECD countries to follow suit and strengthen their existing efforts in this regard. A very important plank that we would expect from an Africa-OECD strategic partnership for shared responsibility would be OECD's strong support to the recently launched African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA. I've already spoken of the large export market potential that prosperity in Africa would create for exports from the OECD. But that was under the assumption that the African market remains fractionalized into 54 relatively small ones, with modest trade amongst them and rudimentary transport links. The CFTA will link all the 54 markets, covering 1.2 billion people, into a single market. It will be the world's largest free trade area outside of the World Trade Organization itself. By 2015, it will cover an estimated 2.5 billion people and have over a quarter of the world's working age population. Imagine the investment and business opportunities offered by the infrastructure required to link these markets more effectively. And imagine the business opportunities that this huge market would offer for manufacturing and service firms from OECD countries that could establish production facilities in Africa to serve the African markets. And with the accelerated growth that would result from all of these, the market opportunities for exporters from OECD countries could be truly amazing. These are opportunities worth working closely together to pursue. I hope that our OECD friends in Europe, with your own experience of the European Union and how it has helped rejuvenate and grow your economies, will be keen on supporting us in facilitating our efforts to build the continental free trade area into an effective trading bloc and a close trading partner of the EU and the rest of the OECD group of countries. I sincerely believe that committing to and working in a new strategic partnership for shared prosperity, spurring infrastructural and private business investment, helping equip the burgeoning African youth with skills, and supporting the CFTA to become a strong trading partner constitute a powerful package of investments that will help scale up global prosperity and help create decent jobs for our youth and provide them the means to live dignified, productive lives. Concerted efforts are being made by African countries, with the assistance of Friends of Africa, to confront the scourge of terrorism in some parts of the continent, to usher in an era of peace and stability on the continent. A new paradigm of governance is emerging in Africa, where respect for individual liberties and human rights, the rule of law and the principles of democratic accountability is shaping the evolution of African states as Africa makes bold strides to shed her post-colonial cloak of instability and join the success stories of the 21st century. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I would say that the OECD and African countries have a strong mutuality of interests in working closely together in a new approach focused on generating quickly shared prosperity. So let's get to work. On our part, we're determined to take Africa where she deserves to be, and Africa beyond aid, a prosperous and dynamic member of the world community, making her own unique contribution to the growth of world civilization. I thank you for your attention.